Sergio Aguero embarks on his 9th Premier League season with Manchester City, the title holders, a title he's won 4 times with the Citizens. He's averaged around 29 goals in all competitions every year. Where does he fall on the list of all-time great Premier League strikers, though, for you, Craig?
Well, we'll find out in a bit. Look, he's playing for the best team at the moment. He's a great player. He is very consistent. He works hard. Actually, there was a stage where when Guardiola first came in, there was a big question mark about, because allegedly he, and I don't know that I'm saying allegedly, supposedly early in his career, he was a little bit, how can I say, enjoyed the outside things in life. Maybe wasn't seen to be as committed as somebody like Guardiola wanted, and so there was some rumours that he might have been one of the first ones to be outed when the new coach came in. That hasn't happened. Jesus has come in, and he's had to sit on the bench more often than not because this guy delivers the goods. It says best Premier League strikers of all time. Now that's subjective, and it's an opinion. So don't hit me with stats once I make my list, because I'm not making my list based on stats. I'm personally making this list, unless you want to change it. I'm making this list. If I was picking a team or buying a team now, who do I think is the best to spearhead that attack in terms of 1 to 5? So I don't see this as, well, he got 179 goals and, well, he got 195 goals. It's immaterial because they're all playing in different teams, some better than others. So it would be who would spearhead it for me. Do you want me to start at the bottom?
Well, can I give you one fact, one little stat to get out the way?
Yeah, yeah.
So we don't have to go there.
Well, I mean,
because I completely agree with your rationale for picking whoever you're going to pick.
Yeah.
Sergio Aguero, best goals per game ratio of any of them, marginally at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I'll go back to the fact he's been in the dominant side. You know, like Ian Wright was for a bit. You know, Fowler not always in the... Shearer certainly wasn't in the dominant sides. So, you know, there are ways and means. I'm ruling out Harry Kane and Didier Drogba. I'm going to start at 5, but I'm ruling Kane and Drogba out straight away. Although I like them both spearhead. Drogba spearheaded Chelsea, obviously, for he was hugely successful. And Harry Kane has got a long way to go in his career. You know, he's got a long way to go. And by the way, he's not having a great season. He keeps diving. A couple of weeks, off you pop. Harold, England captain. Nobody mentions it. So I'm going to go number 5. And I played against Andy Cole. And I played against all these guys.
Oh
no!
Oh.
You're ahead of yourself.
Sorry.
I played at Schoolboy International against him when I was 15. I played against him for my... He was a great striker, as was Ian Wright. But I'm kind of going away. Where am I? I'm looking now to see what my top 2 or 3 are. And I'm going to say at number 5... Is that a shock?
It's a little, actually, yeah. Out of all of these. I wouldn't have picked him, but
no, that's
go
fine.
ahead, yeah.
That's fine. They're all great players. Finisher. Ask Nickel. Get him in. In fact, I'll go.
He's not busy.
Just get him in for this bit and then he can go. He can go and be shepherd's pie. If I want a finisher in my team, I want Drogba and yep, strength, power, finisher. I don't know what his stats are because Liverpool weren't always they were up and down at that time. One of the most natural finishers there has ever been in English football, Robbie Fowler. For me, there's not a doubt about that. So that's how I'd go with 5. You wouldn't. Who would you? Just out of interest, who would you?
It's not.
No, don't share the responsibility.
I think I would have had either Rooney or Wright.
Okay, so I'm going to now say number 4 in my list. I'm going to say, that's a difficult one now, I'm going to go Rooney at number 4. Now, the goals will probably tell you he's probably scored more than, well, I don't know, but I don't know. Again, he was in the dominant side for a while, played in midfield, played up front, dropped in the number 10 role, did a bit of everything. Has been hugely consistent, but I'm going to go for Wayne Rooney as my number 4.
Yeah, second all-time leading goal scorer.
Yeah, again, it's just not always about who's got the most goals, although it is important, obviously, for a striker. But, you know, that's where I think Wayne Rooney is for me. Number 3, I'm going to go for the guy we mentioned, Sergio Aguero. Again, if I was picking the team, would I want these guys out? Absolutely. He's going to pull it out for me in big games. He's hungry. You know, you still see that passion. He was arguing with Guardiola the other week when he gets taken off. You still see that passion. I like Persie as a player, but I don't see him in this list for me personally. Ian Wright, we're going back another. I mean, I played against Ian. Ian was I played with Ian at Celtic actually. He was a really, really good striker, obviously, but just I don't know. I think these are a little bit. So that would be my top three at the moment. Okay. Do you know who my top two is between? It's not difficult, is it?
Yes, I think I know.
Right. I'm going to say, people will be surprised, maybe surprised. I think the most talented player out of them all is this guy. Because he signed for Arsenal as a winger. When he was struggling in Italy, he was a wide player, and Wenger turned him into this great striker, right? And he scored the most wonderful goals. Again, it was in my era. I played against him. The pace was frightening. The physical presence was there. And the finesse and the finishing was fantastic. And you can't not have somebody like him hanging about your team. But if I wanted somebody who was blood, muck, thunder, guts, week in, week out, hopeless team performance, good team performance, bottom of the league, top of the league, middle of the league, it has to be somebody who was just going to do the nuts and bolts when I was slinging it in the box and he was getting his head in there amongst the boots and he was scoring all sorts. He didn't have the talent, natural talent of the Thierry Henry, and he wouldn't do this. He did special things, but not like what he did. But he had everything. And that's why Blackburn bought him and Douglas bought him for when he did. That's why Ferguson wanted him. That's why Liverpool, they all wanted him, the big teams around the world, as they did with most. But for me, if I was picking a team now, Shearer and Henry would be the two I'd be going, what one of them are going to play up front today? And then for me, the rest would follow. That's how I see that list, as if I'm picking the team, these guys are in it. Don't forget, he was at Southampton, he was at Blackburn, and he was at Newcastle when he could have been at, Man United at their peak, and scoring probably 20% more goals than he did.
Quite possibly, quite probably.
And a better team.
And all his goals at Southampton don't count towards the Premier League stats either.
Don't they?
No, because it was First Division at that point.
Oh, that was before football was invented, wasn't it?
Yes, and he still topped the list when football was invented.
Football was invented after a certain period, so but yeah, played against him many times for Scotland and at club, as I did with all these guys. It's hard to leave. These are all great players. Obviously Harry Kane, we'll see what his stats look like in another 5 years' time. Right. Should be good. But I just think for me, these guys are all just a little cut above in the goal-scoring stakes. Fantastic players, every one of them.
And if Aguero continues on track, as we predict he will this year, he could end up the season third in the all-time stakes behind Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney.
He's not doing bad.
Not bad at all.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.